Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. Hey family, happy Friday. As you can see, I've kind of got everything scattered. We'll tighten it up before we get to the piles. I want us to kind of stay with the routine of prioritizing Venus energy on Fridays. Next Friday probably will be a different video just because I'm going to do something different. So don't be alarmed if next week you see something different, but we'll try to stick with this theme most Fridays. All right, so we're gonna see what you're attracting with your divine feminine Venus energy, what you're manifesting as you prioritize your receptive magnetic side, and obviously the goal is to see what abundance is coming in, what wealth can you anticipate on all planes as you tap in with this. All right, so I am gonna hold the thumbnail up so you can see it again. Pile number 1 is the pink icing on top of a Blondie brownie, right? Pile number 2 is pink scoops of Blackberry ice cream. It's got a cone in it. And then pile number 3 is the pink berry popsicle with sprinkles. Pile number 4 is the mini mixed berry cake, and it's got pink marbled buttercream. All right, I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile 1, my pink blondie, or a blondie with pink icing on it. Let's see what you're attracting and manifesting as you tap more into your divine feminine Venus energy. Okay, get an overview for my pile number 1. It's a stack, attracting a lot of things, but this one here seems to be the one that's really standing out. This is the one thing that you're gonna actively have control over, right? So when we attract a lot, we're receptive to a lot, we're open to whatever comes to us. Not this. This is where you're gonna feel very powerful. We got the dog. Okay, so this is an energy of loyalty. So that's interesting. You're gonna feel really powerful in attracting the right types of people. You're gonna be very intentional about your relationships, and as a result of that, it just feels like you're only, I don't want to say only because life is not perfect. It just feels like you're gonna be predominantly surrounded by people that are loyal to you, and that's going to be most of your day-to-day consistent interactions, is knowing and having the comfort of, I can trust people, I can trust these people, I can trust this person. Okay, and at the bottom I have the coffin. If you are woo-woo in any way, y'all know I like that phrase, or even if not, like if you're just spiritual, right? Yeah, birds chattering. I'm gonna keep this because I want it aligns with what we're talking about. If you've been praying in any religious way, if you've been banishing, if you've been laying protection, any of those things, I mentioned this is what you're going to feel most in control of. You're going to see it work. People that are not loyal to you are going to leave your life, and it's going to be very loud. Like you're going to very clearly see who is not loyal to you, who does not benefit you when it comes to loyalty. And people are gonna start talking, right? People are gonna start telling you things. You're gonna start hearing things. People might just start talking too much and reveal themselves. But the end of where you have to question loyalty is very, very near. So that's why I say, those of you that have been praying, like literally praying, manifesting, doing work, laying protection work, keeping your energy elevated, that's a certain level of magnetic energy of, well, you love yourself to the point where people that don't love you cannot be around. And the reason why you're going to feel so powerful about it is because it will be loud with these birds chattering, right? It's going to be loud. It's going to be clear. It's not going to be like, oh, someone ghosted you. It's not going to be, oh, you just got a bad vibe, so you distance yourself from somebody. No, it's going to be anyone that tries to act outside of loyalty for you, where you've put that protection in place, it's going to be revealed. All right, that's intense. Look at that Ace of Wands there. So tell me more about this Blondie brownie with the pink icing. What is that? Tell me more about what they're attracting with their divine feminine Venus energy. I love to see it. Let's see. All right. Tell me more. Yeah, what you can't see now is gonna be revealed. Anything that someone tries to hide from you, it's gonna come out. Like, it's always gonna come out, okay? And where you've been avoiding things or pretending you don't see, if you're more passive, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not gonna be able to avoid it anymore. Or where you're not direct or confrontational in a healthy way enough to get this information yourself, or to figure out that these people are like that yourself. That's where that protection lays. We got the Son of Cups. Ever since I realized that this is here, I redirect people to that white peacock. You can faintly see it in the background. Look at him. So that may be a redirection for some of you, but you're gonna see what's been blocking anything that's getting ahead. And it does seem directly tied to the loyalty factor, okay? Before I pick this up, some of you, you have someone trying to make an offer, whether it's one of friendship, whether it's one of love, or something. It's very pure, by the way. Like, it's healthy, but something about your energy, you just were not in alignment with those types of healthy relationships. I mentioned this being closely related. You're gonna kind of realize people that have been loyal, trying to be loyal, trying to connect with you in a healthy style of love, and you're going to be more receptive to it, okay? So what's this? I got the Three of Wands, which talks about looking ahead, your long-term vision, and kind of seeing the beauty in where you're going versus the pessimism of everything that kind of goes wrong. So I like it. I think you're going to be attracting healthier connections just in general, but there's at least one distinct person, and it could be romantic, right? We're going to look for that. I have a deck, but it just feels like you just weren't open. You weren't receptive. You either were pretending, or maybe you just didn't have the right vibe. And you banishing, clearing the negative energy, because it has to start with you, right? Because if you're surrounded by people where you have to question the loyalty, that starts with you, right? Because why are you in alignment with that? And you no longer being in alignment with that, there's something you're going to see clearly regarding your relationship with at least one person in the best way. So I've got the Goddess of Swords, which talks about discernment, clarity, and discernment. And it also feels like someone that communicates much more effectively, where you historically were passive or avoidant or just didn't know the right words to say. You're actually becoming better at that. It feels like people that are in like, if you're in a career where you kind of need to learn public speaking, I feel like some of you are getting better at your presentations. Good for you. I actually see those of you where you may need to speak and present things. Like, and most career paths, I want y'all to know, most career paths, as you elevate, the higher up you go, you will eventually need to know how to present, speak, something, okay? So let me pull more about what my pile number one is attracting. Tell me more about what you're aligning with your divine feminine Venus energy. That's a way too many. Let's see. There we go. Pisces. I was actually going to say this is a pile that kind of is aligned with like white and blue primarily. Some of you may actually have like blue hair. Is that like midnight blue? That really deep black color that's like she has here? I'll hold it up so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I dropped it. Right? You can see it and it shimmers a little bit. So that kind of shade, maybe that would look good on you, be flattering in terms of hair, but I'm seeing those shades, all right? Pisces and Sagittarius does talk about spiritual growth, spiritual ascension, where we do actively manifest, where we do actively pray, where we actively do workings for protection and revelations and things like that. So those of you like that, I see that, but you're also just connecting more with the divine in a way where you're naturally going to be in alignment with your purpose, your path, and things that will naturally put you where you're supposed to be going, right? And you'll be clear in your discernment that that's happening. It's not going to be like, oh, I guess this is God's will. I guess this is what the universe wants. I guess I'm supposed to be here. You're going to be very clear, very sharp with it and knowing, okay, yeah, no, this is exactly it, right? Higher spiritual ascension and learning. This is intuition and discernment. Those combined is the intellect, it's the development, and it's the awareness. So I like to see those combined. So let me check this out for love specifically. What are you attracting in love specifically? I am curious about that little bit of a connection right there. For my pile one, my Blondie with pink icing. Let's clarify what they're attracting. You're literally attracting love, huh? Your captivating energy makes you attractive. You wear confidence well. So there's going to be someone that's really going to be attracted to your confidence and your comfort in being who you are, because you are attracting the comfort of who you are just in general, and that's heightening you, just making you magnetic in general. But tell me about, what is that? I'm gonna ask because it hit the table. It hit the table. We're talking about children. If you're that pile, then that is something. Let me see. Tell me more. Family, friends, a spouse, a partner that you're gonna start a family with, quite literally. If that's something you're intentionally doing, congratulations. I'm confirming that it is working. But if you've been avoidant with that, you're attracting that into your space. If you've been actively avoiding the conversation about children, family, friends, like where you want long term, you're attracting at least the thoughts of where you're going with that eventually. And if you've been avoiding a specific person because you may not feel like you're ready for family and friends, some of you may be doing that. I'm seeing where you're clearing whatever blockage that is and you're transforming in a way where you're going to be more in alignment with that. Okay, but you are attracting that to you. So what is at the bottom? Freedom. When we can be our truest selves, we are then freely able to love. Some of you, okay, I knew I was something wasn't clear just now, is do or die. Some of you are having the revelation that you want children and a family. Others of you have entered an era where you're realizing that's not you. That's not for you. That's not what you want. You've been avoiding love consciously just because of that. So what I like, everyone in this pile is attracting what is in alignment with your divine feminine Venus essence. So if your path is children, family, close friends around you, and that is your desire, whether you realize that or not, you're going to become more in alignment with that, more attractive to situations, settings, and just career paths, routine paths. Like everything that you do is going to start attracting the environment where this will be cultivated. That's why you're going to see all these changes. Others of you where that is just not your path, every divine feminine or person in alignment with that energy is not made for this, that the situation settings that are going to align you with the freedom, which is ruled by Sagittarius. You actually have freedom 2 times, right? 2 times. You're going to be aligned with the right partner that wants to travel and things like that. 3 of Wands can actually talk about where we plan travels. So you're going to start attracting whatever your core desire is on either polarity. Just be aware of that. It's important, and I'm repeating it because the coffin does not always feel like it's transitioning us to what we want, right? But if you said, I had another reading I did recently where I said, look, if you prayed, manifested with your whole chest, you meant that. You can't just start backtracking half-heartedly once you've asked for something you truly meant with your chest. Because the key word here is backtracking half-heartedly out of fear. So whatever it is you mean that you're actually aligned with at your core is what you're getting. All right. So let me pull more. I'm going to use this last deck and get your advice and close you out for my Blondie with the pink icing. Tell me more about what they're attracting. Focus. Listen, nothing more focused than the goddess of swords. She's sharp. Okay. And the clarity of the birds. So you're attracting focus. Focus. Direction in life, like that 3 of Wands. If you've been all over the place, because people with this personality type tend to be a little too flowy, a little more influenced, right? A little easily deviated. Focus, right? And it's easier to have a lot of people around you that aren't loyal to you, because when you're wishy-washy like that, like I don't want to name you, when you're flowy and easily distracted or easily change paths, right? You don't have a clear, definitive focus. That means you're not as loyal to yourself and your path, which then aligns you with people that aren't loyal to you and your path, because you don't even really have a path. Does that make sense? It's not that anyone's malicious. It's just you don't know what you want. So how are they supposed to help you be loyal to you regarding that, you know? So tell me more about my pal number 1. Yeah, we got an incoming energy of envision, focus, envisioning. Okay, same vibe. Clarity of where you're going. That's 3 of Wands energy right there. All right, I'll grab one more. Yeah, and rest. And when you have direction, when you have a clear focus, it's easier to be organized. It's easier to be disciplined. It's easier to have a routine because you're not constantly starting over. You're not constantly scattered. You're not constantly picking this up, putting that back down. And you're able to prioritize rest. All right. I've got Aries, the inspirer here, which is a distinct, definitive identity. Aries is the sign of I, me. It rules our ascendant. It's ruled by the planet of motion and activity and our overall energy levels. So you're going to see so much energy because you'll be putting it in the right places, spaces that are aligned with you. I love it. Let me get your advice and close you out. For my pal number 1, what advice do we have for pal 1? You got a lot of advice you need. That's funny. I'm not taking all of these cards. Yes. So there's something. Okay, don't be avoiding certain stuff. There's an offer on the table. You better say yes. That's what I'm telling you. It's going to be different. It's going to be specific to all of you. It may even be aligned with some of the things we talked about today. But the answer is say yes. Say yes. Take the leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. Ooh, I love it. I'm so glad to give you this message. So you do what they said, you do what I said, and I'm gonna close you out and move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my pink scoops of blackberry ice cream. Let's take a look at what you're attracting with your divine feminine Venus energy. Let's take a look. Feels like someone that likes ice cream on a cone, but like wants so much ice cream that it just is not going to benefit you to put it on the cone. Like, so you like just want it like that. You got a tree. So, you know, what you're attracting, roots, So I don't know if you're finally stepping into who you are as an identity. I don't know if you finally got to figure out of who you are, where you want to go. But like the tree is roots, it's connection to our lineage. It's where we're really tapped in with our ancestry. And it's where we're like, okay, I'm stable and I'm not moving and I'm not budging. Okay. So I love it because in a spiritual sense, it's someone that can't be shaken spiritually and thrown off course. It's someone that kind of is very has it together. It feels like emotional maturity. It feels like you're never gonna question your faith again, like those types of things. Physically, you're putting down roots, right? Doesn't mean like family, but like where you're going or are is kind of where you're going to be. So let me see. We got the whip, lots of green. Maybe you need to go to the Mercury Money Magic. Maybe that's you, because that's the green reading. I also have a green skeleton key themed reading that is a members exclusive. Okay, just when we talk about all of that green. All right, now the whip is it's get busy move. Like it's not friendly. I'll just say it like that. It is Medusa. It's absolutely Medusa. That could be relevant for some of you. And it's saying like, you got to get to work. You got to build stability. You got to find stability. So a lot of you, I don't know if, because there's a light shadow, but the shadow isn't like one you need to be worried about. It's showing you where you've been self-sabotaging. So I'll just lead with it, right? Basically, if you're the type that's like, yeah, I'm praying, I'm in my divine feminine era, I'm receiving, I don't want anything to be hard, everything's gonna just be easy, flow, that comes with activity. So like, you're gonna see an energy, especially those of you that specifically do ancestral work, right? Because trees, ancestry, they're gonna start cracking the whip. Like, I hope that's not like, I know everybody's really sensitive nowadays, but like, that's literally what the whip represents. It's like, move. You're not a tree. You're being a tree, and there's some actions we need you to be taking. So if you're constantly manifesting and you're wondering why it's not working, it's about to start working, but it's not going to start working the way you expect it to in a shadow sense. It's going to say, okay, well, you want to manifest, you want to attract, you want to do all of the things. Let me tell you why you haven't gotten it yet. And the revelation of such. And then you knowing, and what you now know, you move on. That's what you're going to get for this group. All right. And you may already be at that step. So I may be confirming something for you, especially when we talk about matters of earth and money and your beauty regimen. Like, some of you are like, because I don't want you to feel like, oh, she's talking about work, let me leave, because I thought this was a divine feminine reading. She talking about work, because that's like a trigger word for some people. But let's talk about your beauty regimen. You're like, I want to be the most divine feminine version of me. I want to look my best. I want to be glowing. I want to look healthy. I want to be in the most physical shape. You're not going to just affirmation, subliminal your way into that. That's not how it works. That'll support you. That'll shift your mentality to so where your habits begin to align with that. But you got to do it, right? Like, that's why I'm calling you the shadows, because you don't necessarily know better yet, and you're getting to the point where you know better, so you do better. The lighter side is, I'm stable in knowing what I need to do to keep heightening my divine feminine aura. So I'm gonna pull more tarot. Yeah, because see, we even got the Lovers, which talks about both sides, right? It feels like if you need support with how to attract, is because you're out of a balance. Like, this may be this actually may be my pile that's too into the divine feminine energy. You may need to tap in a little more with your divine masculine side. Okay, just a little bit, just enough to get you going. Okay, because we all have both. All right, tell me more about these scoops of blackberry ice cream. I got surrender. Okay. I'm gonna take these two, because what's that? Yeah, I'm not gonna take none of this. Let me tell you why. It's basically that because I led with the shadow and it's important, I wanted y'all to know. It's saying if you too passive, if you overly surrender, it's not gonna benefit you. It's gonna be bad because when you overly surrender and don't make any physical earth-based motion, things should, like, let's say things are going bad and they're trending down. You're not doing anything to turn it around. You see what I'm saying? And if you're not doing anything to turn around, then it's gonna crash and burn. So that's just a message. Okay. So my pal 2, tell me what are they manifesting? How to manifest? Okay, look at you. It's my group of learning how to manifest, how to balance things out. You must be that pile that picks 2 all the time. 2 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles. We got number 11, which is the whip. 2 wands. Okay, take this. I got the God of Swords. And the bottom is my 9. Okay, look at you. The one thing you're really attracting is that balancing of your divine masculine side. Don't get mad at me, because you are, right? The God of Swords talks about having discernment. It talks about high intellect. It talks about being sharp-witted and possibly overly logical. So if you know you lack rationality, this would be my group that's like overly, I'm going to manifest, I'm going to attract, I'm not going to have to do anything. If you're lacking rationality in what you're trying to do, here we go. You're going to learn where you're going to pause, reflect on that, and you're going to balance that out and start moving in a way that gets you the results that you want. So I'm going to pull more. But it also talks about balancing and how to manifest, how to get things to ground in the 3D if you struggle with that. If you're a dreamer and an idealist and you struggle to get things off the ground, if you struggle to get things on the ground, this is your pile. You're in the right place, right space. You're growing out of that. You're maturing through that, okay? Tell me more about my pile number 2. All right. Let me see if I can find the rest of you here. Yeah, Mercury is here. Yes, he is. Go to those. You're some of you might be in your wrong reading, and that's all right. You're gonna get your messages where you get your messages, right? I mentioned all of that green, and you're supposed to be going to the Mercury money magic. That's you. Find one of those, okay? You're probably gonna be a pile 2 over there. All right. You're right. Thinking, learning, networking, and communicating. If you're not doing those things, and those things are critical to the things that you want, you're in your right place, right space. I'm correcting you, okay? We got Libra, which is the scales, the balancing. Look at you. Look at you. You may have Libra placements. That's fine. But something about that energy, right? Consideration, fairness, and harmony. You lack balance in your divine feminine masculine energy. It's throwing you off, okay? That's all right. Normally, I see a polarity where the ones that are overactive are here. I don't see you. So if you're overactive and you're in this pile, something's off. Pick a different pile or something like that. But those of you that are underactive, because this is an underactive, or you're mischanneling your energy, right? So figure out where you're mischanneling, directing your energy. Figure out where you're off balance, okay? Because you're attracting the balance. I mean, I don't know if you have to go out of your way to figure it out. It's going to be very loud with the whip. Like, it's going to be known. It's going to be shown to you where you lack that balance. And once you figure that out, that unlocks manifestations. Like, you start having manifestations quickly because you see where you're messing up. All right. So let me see what's going on with you when it comes to love. You probably overextend or are overly receptive. I'm not going to lie, just based off of what I see. So tell me what's going on here with these scoops of Blackberry ice cream. Tell me what's going on, what they're attracting in love. Yeah, you got control issues. That's all right. I want to see what you're attracting. So what are you attracting? Control issues does feel like boundaries. I don't believe that there's a boundary card in this deck. So you're learning healthy boundaries in your relationships. You're attracting connections where your boundaries are respected, but where you also are able to respect the boundaries of others, okay? So tell me more about this Blackberry ice cream, please. Love language. Look at that. Mercury. Communication. You're not okay. All right. Your core theme. Learning how to attract. Learning how to manifest. You're not doing it right. Okay? Some of you are just using the wrong manifestation method. There we are. Those of you where you're like, I do act, I do move, I do work. You're misdirecting your energy, like I said. You're using the wrong channel of manifestation. Something about the way you manifest. What I will encourage you to do is your Mercury sign. Figure out your Mercury sign. That'll help you. Those of you that know astrology a little bit. And if you don't, learn your Mercury sign. It'll teach you how to communicate. It'll teach you how you receive energy. It'll teach you how you express your thoughts. And if you learn this, your love language and your communication style associated with your Mercury, that's going to unlock that for you. It's going to bring balance to what you've got going on. And if you figure out your Mercury and the way you interpret and digest information, it'll be easier, I'll take that, for you to put your ideas on the ground, because you'll understand what's going on better. Like if you're having trouble comprehending certain things, you'll figure out your learning style. It'll be better. Like you're attracting alignment with all of this, okay? So that's what we're doing. Yeah, see? Your love language will be secure. And all of this aside, the grounding, the development here leads to a healthy relationship where a person understands your love language, where you're able to communicate it effectively, and by extension, the situation, the relationship is a lot more stable, a lot more secure, a lot more rooted, like the tree. Right? That's what's coming in. And this is a new chapter for you. That's why all of this is needing to be said the way that it's said, because this is a fresh start where we talk about manifesting and all of the things like that for you. For sure. Everything's balancing out. It just may not feel like it yet. Okay, I've got the visionary. You got the vision. You just have this difficulty grounding it, or historically did, right? We've got the explorer, which talks about always wanting to learn, but now we need to learn how to apply those concepts, especially those of you that like to do a lot of reading and studying. You can see the vision. You're curious enough to explore, but we have to ground that energy. You have to sharpen your instincts. Look at you. All right, I'm going to take the bottom. What are you manifesting? The full moon of fulfillment. Okay, I know you got a lot of talking to, but this is just to confirm, like, you're in transition. And the transition may not feel like you're attracting the best things, but it's just to clear out the clutter and where you're messing up. Okay, so let me go ahead and get your advice. We'll get you some advice and we'll close you out. Let me see. It's all about your mind and how rational you are compared to your ideas, your dreams, your desires. So tell me. I think a good question for you to be asking yourself is this practical, right? And if it's not practical, that's fine. But how do you make it practical? Like, how do we get to the point where the thing I'm wanting, the thing I'm trying to attract is practical, is realistic? Okay, what do I need to do to make it realistic, right? All right, we got your Miria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening, and you're aligning with your heaven on earth. It's just that the parts where you're stuck, right? Stuck. We got to move you a little bit so that you can experience it, okay? All right. Breaking the chain of ancestral patterns. Look at you. See, I told you that's an ancestral card. You're breaking the chain. What did I say? They about to crack the whip. Okay, when we talk about generational trauma and curses and things like that, self-limiting beliefs, self-fulfilling prophecy in a worse way. I know what I'm talking about. If my language is offensive, like, I mean, I'm sorry. This is literally some of the lineages where this could be. That's my lineage too. So ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future, and breaking the chain. That's what you need to be doing. Creating heaven on earth, actively so, and breaking that chain. All right. So I'm going to close you out and move along to pile number 3. All right, pile number 3, my pink berry popsicle with the sprinkles. I'm just gonna just straight up and tell you, you are like so in alignment with your divine feminine side. You're very receptive, like you are in your Venus energy. In my astrology deck, I already had like Venus at the bottom, but I wasn't done with my reset, so I kept shuffling, and I saw a lot of Saturn Capricorn influences. So if you're dominant in Saturn, if that's your chart ruler, or if you have like Capricorn dominantly or in your big 3, that's your confirmation. You're in your right place, right space. I know people like that. It's a little bit harder when you're Capricorn ruled to be in alignment with your Venus energy. But it normally, things like that, typically you're late bloomers, right? Like Saturn, Capricorn is slow and steady. So you kind of glow up later in life just in general when you're ruled by that. So I could see why if you're more mature or getting older or developing, that's why you're so heightened in it. But anyway, we did settle on some Capricorn energy. Here we've got the Empress, which that is the divine feminine. That is Venus. That's who that is. Literally, she's on the card, right? The Venus symbol. So we've got that, and we've also got the heart. All right. So let me get an overview. But I mean, what are you attracting? Everything aligned with the divine feminine. If you are identifying more with divine feminine, you're attracting everything aligned with that essence. If you're just tapping into that side and you're identifying more with the divine masculine, you are attracting more of that. And if you don't have a divine feminine around you, you will soon. That's this group, all right? Because it's loud. So let me get an overview for my pink berry popsicle with the sprinkles, please. That one hesitated, so we want a clear overview. Well, the heart is back, so there we go. You're attracting love. You're attracting everything that is aligned with your heart's desires, right? What you truly desire. That's what's coming in. So let me see. At the bottom, I got book, which does talk about having the knowledge, having the intellect, right? Having the information to go out and get your heart's desire, whatever that may be, right? When we talk about the Empress. So tell me more about my berry popsicle with the sprinkles, please. What are they attracting when it comes to their divine feminine, Venus energy? My pile 3. There's an offer coming in for sure. It's in the 3D. What I like is the Daughter of Pentacles is the page, and it talks about where we're receiving information, knowledge, useful tools to help us proceed on their path. So you're going to find very soon, if you haven't already started experiencing this, anytime you need to know something to get something that your heart desires, you might see something pop up. Like I heard, like random podcast might pop up, or you may find a book, or you may see like a post on social media, whatever it is you want. Like, oh, I want to get better at this. I want to learn how to do that. You know, I was thinking about trying to add this to my diet, and then you just start seeing information just starts coming to you, to help you alchemize whatever it is you're looking for. Okay. So it's more than just offers, right? Those of you where you're like, the things that I want at my heart's desire are not within my budget, an offer will be, you're attracting an offer, you're attracting the right situations that will align you with your truest heart's desires. Yep, with the Chariot, right? Being active and working in a way that nurtures your heart's desires. So everything is going to be in alignment with your heart's desires. Even work, even activity, everything you have to do to build is going to feel good, right? The Chariot is ruled by Cancer. It feels like we're being nurtured. It feels like we're being valued. And like I said, everything you do, even where it's hard work, I had some Capricorn influences at the beginning. It's not going to feel bad like you're working, like you're slaving away. It's going to feel like you're nurturing yourself. It's going to be like, I enjoyed working because it allows me to get my heart's desire. I enjoy working because it is my heart's desire. So like, All of that is internal and emotional based, which the sign of Cancer rules. A lot of you are manifesting just the comfort of a home, your home, in a sentimental sense when we talk about your family. So feels like you're manifesting, you're attracting the peace that everybody looking to align with the divine feminine energy typically is seeking. And look at that, we got the Goddess of Cups here. Boom. In this deck, I actually feel like she's like a lower octave of the Chariot. And something about blue, there's a lot of blue here. Maybe blue is a good color for you, but we talk about healing and all of the things. Just feels good. Someone that's feeling very creative, expressive, emotionally in tune, emotionally balanced, right? Even as you're working. Talks about the efficiency with the Eight of Pentacles. It's like I'm working, I'm building, I'm creating. I love it. I've got my goblet of water as I do this thing because I enjoy doing this thing. I'm very good at it, right? I'm very efficient at it. Like, that's what you're attracting. So if some of you may be trying to find your place space when it comes to your life purpose, you're discovering that, okay? Six of Swords talks about where we're on that journey towards maturity, towards ascension, towards the information required to do the things, okay? This is a pile of alignment. Just being in alignment with your receptive side, your divine feminine Venus side, and then everything just harmonizing and becoming a lot more efficient around you as a result. I don't want to say effortless, but compared to everybody else, it is. All right. So let me pull more from the astrology based deck. I don't know that this pile is going to be long. Look at you. Tell me, my berry popsicle with the sprinkles. What are you attracting? House 4. Hey, that is the house that the sign of Cancer rules. Cultural, family roots, home, peace, comfort. Some of you are attracting closeness, alignment with, or better life for a maternal figure. I love that for you because there's a heart, and this, you know, Cancer rules the maternal lineage, and it sits naturally in the house 4. Anyone that you associate with that energy, a harmonized balance with that. Some of you are stepping into a more maternal era of life, right? Or an era of life where you're seeking someone that would have that maternal energy to partner with. You're aligning with those things, okay? But the comfort and the sentimental value of a home and family, those seeds have already been planted and nourished in a way where it's already coming towards you very rapidly. And look, I like the way we talked about at the beginning how this card went away and kind of wanted to talk about all of that Capricorn energy, which probably was slow and lessons and learning and just meant to contrast with this Cancer based energy, because that is the opposite sign of all of this Cancer based energy here. Okay, so some of you may be manifesting some type of divine counterpart that you want to partner with and lay roots. Good for you. We've got this pearl of Venus that says giving and receiving love, finding value and see beauty. What are you attracting and manifesting? Venus energy. Whether that's going to be an actual person or you know. Tell me more. I want to talk about the love life now. Let's just do this. My pile 3, my pink berry popsicle with the sprinkles. Your life feels like it has sprinkles. I love it. What are you attracting when it comes to love? What are you aligning with regarding your divine feminine side, your Venus energy, and love? What did I say? Look, emotional support. The sentimental value. I'm hearing the word sentimental. Things that mean something to you. Things that you find value in, not just in a material sense, but things that like touch your heart. Okay? That's what you're attracting. So I'm holding this wrong. If you've had issues, I'm trying to word this in a way that I don't have to flag this video. Okay, if you have issues with intimacy, with partners, that's because you've been out of alignment with those people. You're going to attract healthier levels of intimacy with incoming partner. Okay, with this incoming partner, because it wasn't good because you're not connecting with this person. That's why you're not being pleased when we talk about intimacy. That's why we have that disharmony. Okay, especially if there's a disconnect emotionally. I don't know if you realize this, Pile 3, you need deep emotional connection. Okay, it seems to stem from any relationship with possibly a maternal figure, whether it's due to you having a really healthy relationship with your maternal figure or due to there being some disconnect with your maternal figure. It's stemming over to your romantic connections and the way you interact with people, because something about the emotional support factor and a disharmony, and it's affecting you when it comes to intimacy as well. Okay, so let me get one more. Okay, let me get one more. There we go. Yeah, it's because you're not the type that kind of does well with, like, I mean, I don't know if you're trying to casually date. Even if you're not, early stages of dating may be difficult for you. Just because you seem to be looking for a level of emotional connection that people have with family members, people have with people they've been with for a really long time. So if you could just work past the growing pains, or have the discernment early of when you just know it's not going to work with somebody, because you need emotional support. You're always going to be not happy in a relationship if you're not feeling that connection that either you lacked with a maternal figure or that you're used to having. You need that type of connection with your life partner, okay? And that's throwing you off. When we talk about communication, you're attracting a partner that communicates in a healthy way. You're attracting a partner that is emotionally supportive, that listens to you, that expresses their needs and understands yours, right? That wants to communicate through disharmony, that's loyal and dedicated enough to be with long term. Because I mean, if you're with somebody that's not willing to work through disharmony, that's the only way you're going to be together long term. You see what I'm saying? So just that discernment and attracting people that are in alignment with how to have the emotional intelligence it seems like you have or are gaining, that's what's coming to you in the form of a relationship. All right. Okay, I'm dropping cards. There we go. All right, because I want to pull from this last deck before I get your advice and close it out. So what else is my Pile 3 attracting? What are they attracting regarding their divine feminine Venus energy? A home where you can have fun and play, right? Relationships where you can have fun and play. If you don't have a lot of time to spend with family and enjoy family, you're attracting that, because play is fun, right? Enjoyment. It's our heart's desire. Anything that we would align with the energy of play. So that's coming in. I love it. Remember, I mean, this is the most Venus aligned pile so far. You literally got the Empress and Venus in the same reading. Okay, so tell me more about Pile 3. A partner that's fun. I'm seeing that. I'm like, okay, is that the only thing you're manifesting is play? It's like, oh no, nothing else matters. Steps, right? Each step. Okay. Recognizing where things are. Okay, the discernment of noticing steps and red flags where there's disharmony and where something's not going to work, so you're not wasting your time trying to be friends or in a romantic connection with somebody, because this is awareness. 5, 6, okay? And I'm just going to take the bottom since we already flipped it over. Some of you, the number 5 is symbolic in some way, because play is 5, and then we've got the blessing moon. So both 5 cards came out, right? With contentment. You're going to have the contentment. All right. All right. So let me get your advice. What advice do we have for pile number 3? Oop. I'm going to take this split because I dropped a card. And it is an incoming energy. All right. So there's a no you're going to have to say. There's a wait, postpone, pause, say no. It's not necessarily a no. It's a not yet. right? Your no is not a no for now, for forever. It's a not yet. I mentioned this being my pile of development and needing to grow and learn. And I mentioned those Capricorn Saturn placements being those of late bloomers. Just wait, especially if you feel a strong urge to wait, because I've got let me just take what split when that dropped. Transformation, things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Okay, so you still healing. So the answer is absolutely not, because you're healing. Okay, for whatever reason. I don't know if it's spiritual, emotional, some of you is physically, you're healing at a cellular level. So you say no. And then trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Say no, because things are healing at a cellular level. I don't know. Whatever that is a reference to, there's something you're not quite ready for. It's not a no, it's a when you're finished with this, okay? So I'm going to close you out and move along to pile number 4. All right, pile 4, my mini berry cake with the pink marbled buttercream icing. I'm curious to see what it is you're attracting. It's all good, right? But you closed a major cycle. I don't know what you closed. I don't know what healing. I don't know what transformative actions you took in 3D or in spirit, but cycle closed. And I'll invite you to go to the skeleton key readings. There's a playlist, whichever ones you choose. Maybe there's something in there for you, but it all started when I got the first message of actually the first message was divine feminine energy. We got that lunar eclipse of sovereignty. Now, if you keep picking those piles where I'm talking about the upcoming lunar eclipse, like, pay attention. For me, real time is going to be the one in Pisces. And I did keep getting 12th house indicators from that astrology deck. So those of you real time, that full lunar eclipse in Pisces is gonna be something. In a timeless sense, there's so many lunar eclipses over the next few years. The next one is gonna be something for you, okay? Another thing to note is that I started filming this at 3:33, and you've got 33. The world is 21 reducing to 3. So I don't know if this is like a 3-year cycle, 3-day, 3 months, something about 3 is a big deal in what it is you're attracting and this cycle you're closing. Because I just put back that divine feminine energy referencing that lunar eclipse, but I've got ready for love. So some of you are literally attracting love. When we talk about love in a romantic sense, love from healthier relationships of all kind, and love for yourself. So I don't know, again, what cycle you closed, but it is one of stability. House 2 is Taurus energy, ruled by Venus. So some of you may have issues with stability, security, self-worth, right? Because it says physical security, possessions, material values, and self-worth. And anything associated with your second house, if you've had issues there, I'm seeing where you're attracting everything healing. All right, so let's start pulling these cards to see what it is specifically you're attracting. So we know it's as a result of you closing a major cycle. I mentioned some of you possibly 3 years, could be related to just something about 3s in general, but I need to know what you're being receptive to, what you're attracting. So tell me for my pile 4, the mini berry cake with the marbled buttercream. Give me one solid overview regarding their divine feminine Venus energy and what they're attracting. One clear energy. Okay, fine, whatever, 2. So the funny part about it is you're seeing repeating numbers, because we had 3s, now we've got 2s, and it's chaos, because I got 22 at the crossroads, right? Which is skeleton key energy. So go to those readings if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel, you may be intrigued. But you're at a crossroads now, or you've already made a decision on where you're going and what you're doing regarding the crossroads. Now, this is where it's going to get really fun and interesting. This God card is the man in the Lenormand deck. So there is some type of masculine presence that matters regarding what you're attracting in your divine energy, divine feminine energy. This could be you at that crossroads that's made that decision of where you're going with this writer. Now, where we're talking about divine feminines that are aligning with that, that would be more attracted to a divine masculine than aligning with that energy. The actions you've taken, the moves you've made, right? When we talk about your active side, the choice you made in the crossroad, the cycle you close is leading you directly to the divine masculine that you're seeking. Those of you that are looking at that journey, right? Where we talk about people that are just seeking love, especially those aligning with that, like looking for a soulmate or a twin flame, things like that. I feel like the moves you've made very actively, that's aligning you with that. Others of you, and it can be a combination of all of the things I just said now, regardless of your gender, how you identify, all of the things, you're attracting a masculine soulmate that could be platonic, because it feels like someone that is a mentor that's going to help you determine the direction to take in life. Someone that's going to kind of help you figure out where you should be applying your energy and how. And that's really going to do wonders for your journey as you step into this next cycle. Because remember, I mentioned you close the cycle, and the rider is the number 1, right? Which talks about where we're going, what we're doing, where we're headed. So tell me more about what my pile 4 is attracting. Tell me about their divine feminine Venus energy. So I stopped shuffling because I keep getting the 3 of Swords at the bottom. So just be mindful. Some of you, this closed cycle is pending, okay? And it's going to be someone masculine in nature making a decision to take a path that may be away from you, right? In a way that may not have you feeling the best, because I keep seeing it, I keep getting it, where that person's putting you in a position of holding yourself back. Like if this person is not good to your journey, if they're keeping you at a crossroads, you're attracting the self-love to where you either remove yourself, or if you're not gaining that fast enough, where you've prayed for protection and healing and growth, this person's going to be removed from you, right? Whether it's by their own doing, or I don't want to make removed feel like permanent and woo-woo. It's like the person decides that they're gonna not want to be with you, or they do something chaotic to where you have to leave them alone, right? You know what I mean? Something unforgivable just to get you to leave it alone. Like, I get that wave. So some of you, that's a message regarding that masculine that hit the table, okay? Because if the crossroads can be a stagnancy associated with this masculine figure, and us heading off in the sunset alone. That's what that can be. So tell me for my pile number 4. Okay, that's why they kept slowing me down. I was wondering, like, if you're wondering why I keep resetting, keep pausing, that's what it is. I'm having delays and I'm struggling. And that was the message that they didn't want me to overlook, okay? So I've got the moon, literal crossroads. These are both crossroads cards. Now, it's made by the same creator. It's not the same card, right? But you know, we got the parting of the sea, and we're at the crossroads. So we're figuring out where we're going here, and we're forging our own path there. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of what it is you're manifesting. So where the cycle is closed and where you were a crossroads, maybe you pick a path, maybe you create one, right? The moon represents the unseen. It talks about a way out that maybe you hadn't considered. It talks about a path that's not real to you because it's completely unfamiliar. It's nothing you've ever experienced before. And if you've never experienced it before, then you would not know how to get yourself there, which is why we have a heavy, heavy spirit team presence of guiding you there and maneuvering you there. So that's what you're attracting, that support as you forge towards that. We got the Goddess of Pentacles, which talks about someone that's very abundant in the material sense. I mentioned at the very beginning, but just watch it, because sometimes it can be immense pain that puts us there. Sometimes the only way out is through, right? When we talk about the pain, and sometimes when we hold ourselves back or we're being restricted and we don't realize the only way to wake us up is through something that can be very triggering, okay? It doesn't have to be completely chaotic, but depending on how stubborn you are, how closed your eyes are, how much you're not willing to see or acknowledge something, it can be that, okay? Some of you, this is the closed cycle. You all are at varying I want to say perspectives, but timelines, right? Some of you, this is past, you're stepping out of, that's the closed cycle. Others of you, you're closing that cycle, and we're stepping into that possible anguish, okay? And others of you, I'm making sure you know that maybe this is avoidable if you choose a path and don't stagnate, okay? I got a 10 of cups, which where we talk about the stagnancy of any connection, right? Where we talk about the stagnancy of a connection, the releasing of that connection leading to something much more fulfilling. That's why we got all of that at the beginning. So where that's past, historical, or current, active, where you're feeling that, this is why. This is where you're headed, all right? A path that you didn't really realize was available to you, that you couldn't see for whatever reason. All right, so let me keep pulling something that's much more stable and secure, okay? All right, so tell me, my mini berry cake with that marbled buttercream icing, what are you attracting? Saturn. Yeah, I want to get one more to clarify. Yeah, okay. Mutable, adaptive, closed cycles. So the mutable card says surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. Those are the signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, okay? Like I mentioned, it closes cycles because it's the end of seasons, okay? So end of summer, real time, I guess. But Saturn is where we're restricted. It's where we're struggling. It's where we're hardworking and patient and slow moving. And sometimes we learn lessons on delays. We learn why there are delays. So you're going to see the why. You're going to understand the why in the areas of life where you've experienced delays. I had another pile that was more late bloomer, and it was like slow progression, not necessarily setback. This is a pile of setbacks and absolutely nots, because it's not for you, right? The revelation of those, right? You're going to understand very much so very soon why you've had delays, why you've had setbacks, why you've gotten no's instead of yeses, why certain relationships didn't work out, right? When we talk about being more open-minded, being objective and willing to learn, because I've got air signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius here, okay? So now I got Gemini 2 times. So tell me what's going on when it comes to love. What are they attracting in love? You're attracting discernment, that's for sure. Like I see you're attracting discernment. You're attracting the ability to close cycles, knowing when to close a cycle, when to move on from something, when to stop stagnating, right? When to choose a different path. That's what you're aligning with, right? The divine feminine doesn't wait to be chosen. She chooses, right? Or she aligns herself with the energy of where she will be chosen. Does that make sense? Like it's not a waiting, right? It's not about waiting, because I get a wave of some of you here waiting. So tell me more when it comes to love. What is the divine feminine energy here attracting? See? You may be attracting this, I'm not gonna lie, not because of anything bad. If you're dealing with something stagnant, if you're dealing with something that's not right, that you're refusing to move on from, if you're clinging to someone that doesn't want to be clung to, this may be the way to stop you from doing that. Like the third party is here to stop you from doing that. And especially if, like, when we have inner fears, like some of you, that is like your worst fear in a relationship is being cheated on, or being a third party, or having a third party step in. If that's the case and everything else kind of resonated, that's the traumatizing event that has to make you move in the writer. Okay? It's supposed to be like that. So so you can step into that new chapter. So past, present, and coming. Where this is past energy, we're in the new chapter of the 10 of Cups. You see, look at them in the 10 of Cups. Look at how fulfilled she is as an individual. That leads to the 10 of Cups. We're talking about steps 9, 10. Okay, these are steps. And so the self-fulfillment, the self-path that leads you to a union with someone like-minded. Okay, because we're in that new chapter. So let me pull more. Okay, What are you attracting? The end of that cycle that I just read, the closing of that, so that you can step into all of this. I'm going to see what's at the bottom in a second, but I'm taking all of these cards. Remember, we had the house 2 at the beginning, which is Venus ruled, like the sign of Taurus, the lover. You're attracting the lover that is in alignment with you. You're attracting motion versus stagnancy and indecisiveness. You're attracting activity of the writer and Aries, right? When we talk about someone that's inspired by you, spring is heavy. It's a heavy, heavy energy. That's why I got Gemini 2 times. Someone could have been born in spring. That could be you. That could be this person stepping in. Something could have happened with this connection critically during the spring, whether historical, current, whatever, because I've got Aries, Taurus, Gemini energy. All right. All right. I've got the deep wisdom coming from something. I've got abundance, and I've got a solar eclipse, which this year was in Aries. So something happened during a solar eclipse, will happen during a solar eclipse that really pushes you into that new chapter, and it may not feel good, okay? So may actually lead to hibernation. If you need space, take it, okay? But I'm not feeling alarmed, because I'm going to be honest with you. Those of you that are alarmed, this is present energy you're in. And I'm just aligning it with you and confirming that you've attracted this due to some self-love that you don't realize you have yet, because you need a new chapter of more than where you stagnated, okay? Yeah, because now I got the thing where I feel like it's clearing out my heart space. Those of you where this is past, I'm confirming for my Divine Feminine Venus energy here, you've closed that cycle, okay? Period of hibernation is near. You're at the threshold. The period of hibernation is closing. You're at the threshold of that new chapter. The cycle is closed. Okay. So let me get your advice, and then we'll close you out. I'm a little surprised at this, but I kind of like the pile. Y'all don't get mad at me, because it talks about the end of an era, right? And it talks about a lot of wisdom and maturity and abundance that comes from it, right? It talks about an abundance that you had to be awakened to experience because it's so foreign to you. Like you would have never gotten this abundance. You will never receive this abundance, a lot of you, without this that I'm seeing, if that makes sense. It seems like that is the gateway, that is the breakthrough for that abundance. That leads to you attracting, that leads to this heightened Divine Feminine aura. Yeah, because something about the connection, if we're talking like a romantic relationship that didn't work out, isn't working out, that's a karmic connection to teach you discernment and how to lay protection, right? Because you've got that card. It says to call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Like pull your energy back, cut the cord. Some of you may actually need a cord cutting. Now, there's your advice card. Okay, so whether you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, if you still have a veil over your eyes regarding something, someone, you're being told to cut a cord, to cut the cord, okay? And if you're already in the chaos of it, it's saying to cut the cord, just let it ride, let it in, let the cycle close with grace. And if you're looking back, this is confirmation. It's over. If you're still feeling that connection, if it's still coming up in other readings where you're like, oh, it's been a long time and I don't know why that's still coming up, you need to do a cord cutting, because it may still be lingering. If you're not seeing it in other readings, then I think when we're talking about what you're attracting with your Divine Feminine energy, it's saying that that cycle, that period associated with that is completely closed. It's time to call back your power and just keep proceeding, okay? All right, so what's at the bottom? You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. So those of you, okay, where this is past, okay, don't overthink it. It's over. Protection in place, okay? Where you're in it, cut the cord, let it end with grace, and keep moving in this rider towards your north node. Where this is incoming, start aligning with your north node, okay? And we'll see what happens, all right? So I'm going to close you out. Thank you so much for supporting the channel.